At a young age, I was baptized, not for the usual religious reasons, but because the preschool closest to our home required it. Perhaps the notion of Pascal's wager also came into play. After all, what's the harm? Blaise Pascal's 4 outcomes can be applied to baptism. If you die baptized, you gain the chance to eternal joy, or face death as any other, having merely dipped your head in water as a baby. If you die unbaptized, you risk eternal suffering, or merely cease to exist, having missed out on that church experience. In this sense, you risk nothing, but have the chance to gain everything. So yes, I'm a baptized atheist. Went through the whole ritual without any religious influence at home. Though I hold the belief that if I had been raised in a religious household, I likely would have developed religious viewpoints. An idea closely aligned with B.F. Skinner's idea that environment largely shapes value sets and beliefs. So while religious texts, for example the Bible, often offer a positive axiomatic foundation for building morality, they are surely not the only path. Despite being raised without a Bible, I see myself as a moral person. At first glance, these statements may seem largely unrelated. However, I see most religious texts as a gateway to morality. While there are many ways to shape a moral child, I see religion as the most straightforward, kind of like a parenting cheat code. It does the job sufficiently. After all, kids learn best from stories, and what is the Bible if not a collection of stories where good triumphs over evil? Many atheists, including the philosopher Immanuel Kant, believe that religion inherently divides humanity and is therefore a force of harm. Kant believed that morality should be grounded in reason and the categorical imperative, only acting according to principles which can be universalized. By this logic, morality driven by fear of divine punishment or hope for a reward lacks the universality needed for ethical behavior. I acknowledge these criticisms and agree in the sense of morality being objective. However, I do believe that religion offers a solid framework. Historically, when communities were more isolated from one another, religion provided a solid framework for shared values. If everyone adhered to a morally sound religious text, the result would be minimal conflict. Sigmund Freud also suggested that religion meets the fundamental human craving for security and order, and no doubt the thought of an all-powerful, all-knowing God watching over us and promising life after death is undeniably comforting. These comforts and ideologies built cohesive communities in the past. However, in today's diverse and interconnected world with so many overlapping ideologies, religion causes more division than unity on the larger scale. Even on an individual level, religion faces limitations in fostering authentic morality. A significant issue is that religious morality often stems from the fear of hell or desire for heaven. From the perspective of virtue ethics, originally articulated by Aristotle, character or intention defines the goodness of an action, not being good to prevent hell. Acting good to avoid hell or gain access to heaven is ultimately rooted in this selfish and egoistic motivation. This can tie into veneer theory stemming from Hobbes' belief, where members of a religious group can put on this facade of good not only to meet societal norms, but to reach heaven. Though I believe that all actions are, to some extent at least, selfish, an egoistic approach, religion highlights this to its fullest extent. I do not believe that true morality can arise from this fear of failure. Instead, morality must stem less from external validation from some divine God and more from internal growth, a yearning to do better for yourself and the world around you. In this sense, morality becomes a personal and societal responsibility rather than a dictated obligation. It's about leaving the world a better place than you found it. Not out of fear of punishment or hope for a reward, but out of a sincere commitment to do better. This approach has more authenticity and sense of purpose, independent from any dogma or divine oversight. So, how can one cultivate this kind of morality without aid from the Bible or another religious text? The key to building your own morality lies in self-awareness and education. The internet provides access to countless resources such as podcasts, debates, and books to help you fully shape your perspective. Works such as the self-help book, Organize Today, Tomorrow, or Sam Harris's Lying, delve into ethics and self-awareness. Harris in particular advocates for living in absence of lying, an essay infinitely valuable to anyone trying to shape their morality. It's also important to learn right from wrong, not from a religious text, but instead from the impact your actions have. This can lead you towards a more utilitarian approach. As formed by Jeremy Bentham. rather than that of rule utilitarianism, something that would be formed when following the exact rules of the Bible. An idea thought to be correct by John Stuart Mill. Analyzing each action within its own context and the impact they have builds a far more adaptable and open-minded moral system, one which can adapt with the complexities of life. With all this said, and despite my lack of religious belief, I do not view religion as inherently negative on an individual level. There are so many pathways to building morality, and what works best for one may fall short for another. For me, atheism offers the clearest, most reasonable foundation for understanding morality and the human experience. Thank you for watching!